I think about it all the time, and I think about going and how good it'll be. And I rewind and thinking, well, where am I? I don't leave the house either. Gotta get on a plane, gotta be away for 2.5 weeks. Yeah. Well, some of them lads have had a tough life.
Yeah.
You've got to try and put it into perspective.
Yeah.
And I feel guilty, I can't do that. Everywhere I go at the minute, I've got a full face mask and glasses on. I can't do that. I struggle with anxiety. You know, I have nightmares, I have flashbacks. It's been so hard to cope with.
More than 2 years after his harrowing near-fatal car crash, Andrew Freddie Flintoff has spoken publicly about the traumatic aftermath, his recovery, and the deep emotional impact the incident left on his life and relationships. The former England cricket star and television personality was seriously injured in December 2022 while filming an episode of Top Gear at the Dunsfold Park Aerodrome in Surrey. During the shoot, Flintoff was behind the wheel of a Morgan Super 3, a lightweight, open-top three-wheeler, when it flipped and dragged him face down for about 50 meters along the tarmac. The accident occurred at less than 50 miles per hour, a relatively low speed for the track, but the lack of safety features in the vehicle, including the absence of airbags, meant the impact was devastating. Flintoff sustained gruesome facial injuries, including multiple fractures, broken and missing teeth, and damage to his upper jaw. He also suffered several broken ribs. In the immediate aftermath, he disappeared from the public eye, not leaving his home for 6 to 7 months as he grappled with both the physical toll and the emotional trauma. Now, in a newly released Disney Plus documentary simply titled Flintoff, directed by the acclaimed filmmaker John Dower, the 47-year-old opens up like never before. In the 98-minute feature, he recounts in unfiltered detail the events of that day, his long and painful recovery, and the psychological scars that have lingered. For the first time, vivid images of his injuries and surgery are presented to the public, offering a raw look at just how close he came to death. During one of the most harrowing moments of the film, Flintoff describes the split-second decisions he made while the car overturned, instincts he believes saved his life. As the vehicle began to flip, he says he knew instinctively that if his head were to hit the ground on its side or at the temple, the result would be fatal. So, he turned his face downward. That move likely prevented a broken neck or worse. I thought my face had come off, he recalls, reliving the horror of lifting his hat off his face and seeing blood everywhere. For a moment, he believed he was unrecognizable, or no longer even had a face at all. One of the most emotionally charged revelations comes as Flintoff confesses to a period of deep despair in the months after the crash. Although he never actively considered ending his life, he admits there were moments when he wished he had died in the accident. The pain, the isolation, and the psychological trauma felt overwhelming, and he struggled to see a way forward. He describes a dark stretch where getting through each day felt nearly impossible, and he was consumed by thoughts of how much easier it might have been had he not survived. Yet, despite the depth of that despair, Flintoff says he has begun to find a way back to himself, largely through the support of his family and his reconnection with cricket. His wife, Rachel Woolse Flintoff, appears throughout the documentary and speaks openly about how the game gave him a renewed sense of purpose. "I do think cricket saved him," she says. "It gave him a reason for being again." Flintoff has since taken up coaching roles with various England squads, including the white ball team, the England under-19s, and the England Lions. In each case, his presence has been praised not just for his technical input but for the mentorship and emotional strength he brings to young players. He is also head coach of the Northern Superchargers in the 100, a position he has embraced with passion and dedication. The return to the cricketing world appears to have been a turning point in his healing, offering both structure and a sense of belonging. Alongside his slow re-emergence into public life, Flintoff also returned to television in a more limited capacity. In late 2023, he featured in a new series of Field of Dreams, following his journey with a group of young cricketers from his hometown of Preston. He also hosted a special one-off revival of the classic game show Bullseye on ITV during the Christmas season. Despite these professional rebounds, Flintoff acknowledges that the experience has reshaped his relationships, including with his former Top Gear co-hosts, Paddy McGuinness and Chris Harris. Once extremely close, the bond between the trio has faded. Although Flintoff has seen Chris and exchanged emotional moments with him, he admits he's not been in regular contact with either host. He reflects with some guilt on that distance, explaining that reconnecting with them feels like reliving the trauma. "Seeing them," he says, pulls the crash and all its consequences back into sharp focus. Part of the difficulty, Flintoff suggests, is that the incident didn't only alter his life, it affected his co-hosts too. Their careers were effectively paused when Top Gear was indefinitely shelved by the BBC following the crash. He acknowledges that their shared absence from the show has made it harder for him to reach out without feeling like a reminder of the pain. "I hate the word triggering," he says, "but I'm worried about that." Chris Harris, the most experienced driver among the trio, had previously voiced his concerns to the BBC. Months before the crash, he warned executives that the direction the show was heading, constantly pushing for bigger and more dangerous stunts, could result in someone being seriously hurt or even killed. Flintoff's comments in the documentary echo those concerns. He speaks candidly about the pressures of the entertainment industry, likening it to his time in professional sport where people are often treated as a piece of meat. The push for more dramatic, unseen stunts became relentless, he says, all in the name of viewer ratings. During their time on Top Gear, the trio performed a range of daring and high-risk challenges. Flintoff was often the one at the center of the most extreme stunts. From launching a car in a bungee jump off a 500-foot dam in Switzerland to racing a 124 mph trike into open grassland, he repeatedly put himself in potentially dangerous situations for the show. Looking back, he questions whether the pursuit of spectacle was worth the risk. In the end, Flintoff is not just a documentary about a car crash. It's a powerful, deeply human story about survival, the cost of fame, and the long journey toward healing. While the physical scars remain, it's clear that the emotional wounds cut even deeper. Still, there's a sense of resilience and hope in Flintoff's voice. Though the road has been long and painful, he has found strength in his family, in cricket, and in slowly rediscovering his purpose beyond the screen. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates on celebrity deaths and news updates.